Hello gold farmers, welcome to another goldenrod farming video. Today I'll be showing you guys the pit of Saron. For this dungeon, unfortunately, I do believe it requires a certain amount of reputation, and I do know that you have to run the Halls of Valor or one of the other dungeons before you can run this one. I don't remember the exact name of it, but you do have to do a few different things to actually be able to farm this dungeon. If you do, I recommend that you farm it in Heroic, just because I feel like you get a lot more luck and all of that. The biggest thing about this dungeon is the Battered Hilt, which sells for on average 100k, which for those who have never farmed for the Battered Hilt, I have a decent amount of experience farming it. First of all, I used to farm the entire dungeon, and none of the mobs really back there ever dropped it. So I decided to just start farming these front view mobs and going out and resetting it. It seems to be a lot more efficient. I know that you can possibly miss it if one of these mobs do decide to drop it, although the chances are very slim. I had farmed this quite a bit back when it was a very popular thing. I farmed probably 20 of them, so I've collected quite a bit of data off of them. I didn't write it down or anything, but I do remember a majority of it. Most of the Battered Hilts usually seem to drop within the last few runs. I can usually get one about the 8th or 9th run. Rarely will I ever see one on the 10th run. Sometimes you'll get two. If that's the case, you usually see one on your 5th run and around your 7th or 8th run. And you can usually only get one every 15 to 20 runs is what I have seen, unless if you were extremely lucky, which it can happen, but for the most part you do seem to get one roughly every hour, which is really nice. One of the reasons why I have been putting off this guide is, one, a lot of people did start to go over it again, so I kind of just backed off of it. I haven't really seen anybody talk much about the statistics of all of this, which it's not really known information. I remember back when this was a thing, Blizzard had actually nerfed the spawn rate or the drop rate of Frostweave cloth, although it does appear to have been brought back up. So what you can do with the Frostweave cloth and all of the greens is you can do the bombardment shuffle, which the bombardment shuffle doesn't have really anything different from any other shuffles regarding the Frostweave cloth. It's just, I guess, a way for me to organize such a shuffle. That's usually how I tell people where I made my gold and what shuffle I actually did, because if I just say the Frostweave shuffle, sometimes people may not fully understand it or ask where I was farming. So to actually just use the farm as a name, then you can get a general idea of everything. The greens actually drop quite often here. You should be able to get roughly 20 greens by the time you are through all your 10 runs. The runs don't take very long. You don't have to use Bear Tartar, although I did just for the sake of this video. If you want to run the whole dungeon, you can. Again, I don't really recommend it because very few of those 20 or so battered hilts that I had gotten actually dropped from mobs back there. I believe 2 or 3 of them did. So it's not like you're going to be missing out on anything, although they do still have that small chance of dropping one. I do believe that is all. I'm trying to remember if there is anything else. I do know that you get some rep here, and I don't remember the exact quest line, if there was a quest line or all of that to actually get to this dungeon. But I just remember it really wasn't very hard at all to do, and it is well worth the time it takes to do it, just because the Battered Hilt is one of the best farms I've ever done. I've made a ton of gold off of it, and it's always going to be one of my favorites. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up and subscribe for more content.